If you're in final year or soon to be in final year and you're planning to pay somebody to do your final year project for you, don't do it. Come, let me teach you how to actually do your final year project yourself. And the reason is because you want to have a good project and you also want to be able to defend your project by yourself. And if you give somebody to do it, then there's a possibility you might not necessarily be able to defend it as good as if you did it by yourself. And you also want to save money. Like final year comes with plenty expenses. You don't want to add projects to it. You don't want to have to pay somebody to do that final year project for you. So I already did a video, you can check the link here, on how to actually start, because I know many students don't even know where to start, and that is the major problem. So I did a video on how to start, how to get a topic, and also how to like find research gap. I've done that other video. You can make sure you check it before you come back to watch this video, because it's a series and this is the second in the series. And this time around I want to actually break down each chapter and what is required of you in each of those chapters. So my laptop is here and I'm just going to be using it as a guide so that I don't forget anything and so that I give you all the information that you require. This video is chapter 1. We're going to have another video for chapter 2, chapter 3, 4, 5. So you want to make sure you watch this video from beginning to end. You don't need to skip anything. Like everything in this video is the information you need. And you can also share it with your classmates, because I'm sure they're also going through the same dilemma that you're going through. They don't know what to do and you want to be the good person that showed them the light, isn't it? Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe. So let's get into the video. So the first one is your chapter 1, and usually your chapter 1 is the introduction. And this introduction has some other contents under them, and irrespective of which discipline you are, what kind of project you're doing, what kind of tests you're doing, qualitative, quantitative, whatever kind of project you're doing, you will usually have chapter 1 as the introduction. Now, under chapter 1, which is introduction, we have background to the study. And usually background to the study, some people have problem statements apart from the background to the study, while some just have it together. So we have background to the study, and your background to the study is more like, just as the name implies, background. What is the base to this study? What do you want to do? And the easiest way I can tell you to do this is pick your topic. So for instance, I'm going to use my topic. I worked on antimicrobial effect on bitter leaf and purple leaf on broiler chickens. So what I did is that for my background of the study, I will briefly talk about broiler chickens, or maybe start with poultry generally. Talk about poultry a little. Oh, we have so billion number of chickens and we need to increase our population because the population of the earth is increasing, something like that. Then I will go and pick purple leaf, talk a little about purple leaf. I'll pick bitter leaf, talk a little about bitter leaf. I'll pick antimicrobial properties, talk a little about it, because it's just introduction. You just want it. It's usually between 2-3 pages, not more than that, for this background to the study. Some people even have 1 page, like especially for undergraduates, mostly maybe one and a half pages for the background of the study. That should be enough. So you want to do that, and then you want to then explain just each of the topic little. So let's say you want to talk about smallholder farmers, the effect of smart technology on smallholder farmers in let's say Nigeria, or Nigeria might be too big. Let's say a particular state, let's say Lagos State. If you want to do that, of course you first talk about smart technology, how smart technology is the movement now, how it's changing everything. Then you will talk about Lagos State, what has been done about the smallholder farmers in Lagos State. Then you talk about what smallholder farmers are. So basically that's just background of the study. Now when you're doing background of the studies, you make sure you are getting like very things that will make people say, yeah, that is what you want to do. I remember in my undergraduate, I started with something very serious. I said, according to the CSC, we will have 10 million deaths by 2030 if antimicrobial resistance is not dealt with. Now, that became like, even when I wanted to do my presentation, when I did the conference paper and I went to do the conference, that was like the punchline. So it's more like, are you serious? Like 10 million deaths in a year? Yeah, that's what it is. It's 10 million deaths in a year by 2030, I think. Yeah. So if you look for, and you make sure you have reference to back it up. It's not something from the bubble. You must have reference to back it up. So make sure you do your deep work and then you have this reference to Parkinson. So make sure whatever you're putting in your project, let it be recent, let it be novel, let it, let it catch attention. Because some of you write projects like as if it's some boring thing, and that's why your lecturer picks the project, he will drop it, he will not read it for how many days. Do something that is interesting. Even you, if you are reading it, let it be interesting. When you want to do presentation, let it be interesting too. Do you understand? So that's the first thing, background to the study. Now when you're done with your background to the study, the next thing that is also under introduction or chapter 1 is what we call justification of the study. Now justification of the study is like the why of this project. Why are you doing it? So for instance, I said I wanted to work on purple leaf and bitter leaf. Why am I using purple leaf and bitter leaf? So in my justification of the study, this is where I get to talk about the fact that, purple leaf and bitter leaf has a phytochemical that is called this. And it has been proven by so person when he worked on quail, or when so person worked on rats, or when so person worked with it on pig. They saw that it did so and so. Reason why I also want to use it in chickens. That's one part of the justification of the study for that particular work. I can also come again with another justification and say, we are losing people. Like antimicrobial resistance is becoming a problem. Drugs are no longer working. And for this reason, we need to find alternative ways to, produce animal and plants so that people don't keep, dying from antimicrobial resistance. Just like with my first, that my very first strong point of 10 million deaths in so year, if nothing is done. That's also a justification to the study. So you want to check that and you want to do that. So whatever it is that is, and that's why you need to do a deep work. Like you need to check, what has anybody done? Even in your justification of study, you can also put in your justification of study why you are using that particular level. So we do experiments. I use broilers for experiments. Why am I using this level of the test ingredient? So my test ingredient is purple leaf and bitter leaf. Why am I using 600 gram? Why am I not using 1000 gram? This all must be captured in the justification of study. Now let me use something else. Let me use a different example. So why are you using Lagos State as your base for that smallholder farmers? Why are you not going to the north? Are there no more farmers in the north? This way is now trying to say, oh yes, people have actually been doing plenty work in the north. They've not looked at Lagos State, and Lagos State is also producing. Are you saying where justification of this thing comes in place? Why are you using smart technology, and which of the smart technology are you using? Why are you using that? That is justification of studies. If you want to talk about market women, why are you using market women of Katsina State? Why are you not using market women of another particular place? Why are you using, and then if you're using, why are you using tomato sellers? Why are you not using clothes sellers? Do you understand? So that's justification of study, as simple as that. So the why is your justification of study. Also, it doesn't take too long, maybe half of a page, or 3/4 of that page. Now the next thing also that is in, which is the third thing now, that is in your chapter 1, is what we call the aims and objectives. Now your aims and objectives is now, what do you really want to do, Pato? Like, what are you really planning to do? And you must be able to itemize your aims and objectives. So one thing is that I want to work on it on broiler chickens. Okay, if you're working on it on broiler chickens, what are you planning to now do? What is your aim? So this is where I will now come and say, I want to check the effect of the purple leaf and the bitter leaf on their growth performance, on their lipid profile, on maybe their intestinal microbial count and all that. That might be my first objectives. The second objective is, I want to see if they have anticoccidial effects. I want to see if they have antibacterial effects. That is another second objectives. So whatever your objectives are, you can list them down. Make sure they are listed. This is where aims and objectives come to place. List them out. Now, the next thing we also usually have in your introductory part is what we call, which is the fourth one now, is what we call research hypothesis. The research hypothesis. We have the null hypothesis and the alternate hypothesis. Now, the null hypothesis is that this thing I want to feed on these chickens, it is not going to improve their growth performance. It is not going to have any effect on their intestinal microbial counts, and possibly it is not going to have any effect on their liver function. So when I say that, that is the null hypothesis. Now for that same objective, because you will use your objectives for your null hypothesis, you pick each of the objectives and you write the null hypothesis for it and the alternate hypothesis for it. So when I say that for that one, that same objectives, I will now say the alternate hypothesis is that, oh, if I do this, it will have, as simple as that. That is null and alternate. It will have an effect. Then I'll go for my second objectives and do the same thing. So now you have your research hypothesis. Basically, that should be the basic things in your chapter 1. And I've said it before, if you want to start, make sure you go to your departmental library or ask a senior or ask a lecturer in that interest that you have. Where can I find resources for our project? Check the departmental library, those that have done work before you, see the content of their chapter 1 and just follow through. Not copy the work, like the headings, the background of the study and everything like that, and then just populate your own. Let me know if this video helped you. Let me know if this is something you're going to try this week and submit to your supervisor. And also comment, like, share this video. Let it get recommended to other people. And also you can share it in your WhatsApp group. Let your friends, help your friends with it, because I'm sure they're in the same dilemma as you and you want to be the person that helped them to do a better job. Bye. See you in the next video.